This video is sponsored by Elechomes Cool and Warm Mist Ultrasonic Humidifier. I've been using an Elechomes humidifier for about 2 years, and I can honestly say it's the best brand that I've come across. I was sent this SH8830 model to review, and it doesn't disappoint. It has a large 6.5-liter water capacity, and it works well in a large room. It's filled from the top, which is a personal preference of mine because I just feel like it makes things a lot easier. It has a lot of features, like I said, cool or warm mist. It has a dual adjustment to direct the mist in 2 different directions. It has an automatic mode so you can set it and forget it. And you can even set the desired mist and humidity level. So if you're looking for a good quality humidifier, click the link in the description box below for more details. Thank you for your sponsorship, Elechomes. Now let's get on to the plants. Hello and welcome to Peggy's Plants, coming to you from Central Florida. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the down and dirty of buying clearance plants. Should you avoid them like the plague, or are they a good deal? In a recent video, I showed this clip, and many of you in the comments said I would never buy plants from this store. It happened to be a Walmart. But when I saw this water coming out of these plants, what went on in my head was, I'll be back next week. Some of these plants will be on clearance. One of my favorite places for clearance plant shopping is Lowe's Garden Center. I like that they have a dedicated area for plants that they've marked down. I have learned through visiting what days they mark down their plants and put them out for clearance. And I like that the prices are clearly marked on the plants. For me, clearance plant shopping is like treasure hunting because you just really don't know what you're going to find. I find a lot of my landscaping plants in the clearance section, as well as some pretty good house plants. Don't think you're just going to get the plants that nobody wants. I mean, look at this. For $7, you can get this nice full pot of string of bananas. That's a pretty good price. And then look over here. These are all begonias from the Costa Farms Trending Tropicals collections. These go for about $20. And as you can see here, the prices are marked. They're 50% off. And these plants are in ceramic pots. So for about less than $10, you're going to get this nice ceramic pot as well as a hard to find begonia. That's a good deal. It's been my experience that clearance plants usually fall in just a few categories. They're either overwatered and just need to be dried out, underwatered, they need some water, or they're old stock and they need to make room for the new inventory, so they put the plants out on clearance. It's very important that you take the time to assess the plant, make sure that there's nothing major wrong with it like pest, and make sure that you know what the plant's going to need when you take it home so that you can successfully rehab the plant. I love shopping for clearance plants, and there are definitely some good deals to be found. And I'm going to share some that I found at the end of this video and show you what condition they're in. But take a look at this pothos. There's nothing that I see wrong with this plant at all. And it's in a ceramic pot. It's probably a one of a kind, the only one left. It's been marked down 50%. So for $9, you can get this ceramic pot and a perfectly good plant. Now these crispy plants up here, I would probably leave those right where they are. And of course I went back to the Walmart that had the plant with all the water, and look at all of these plants that they have here on the clearance section. So, and these are more than 50% off. Great deals. Let me show you some plants that I purchased. Now, if you've watched many of my shopping trips, you know that I have a thing for the canna lilies, all the different colors. I've been keeping an eye on them, and I wanted a lot of them because I have a large yard space to cover. I found these canna lilies, on sale on the clearance rack for $3 and some cents each. Now, they don't look like much right now, but all I have to do is go through here, cut off the the spent blooms, which is the main reason why I believe they were on clearance. I'll go through and trim off any leaves that aren't looking very well, but all these plants need is some water and some trimming, and they'll be perfectly fine. In fact, before I even had time to plant them and I just left them outside my screen room where they were getting watered, these are some of the blooms that started coming out from these plants that had buds on them. Absolutely beautiful. From the label, I was able to tell which colors the blooms were supposed to be. So I tried to get a nice variety of blooms in different colors. But these plants are perfectly healthy. As you can see, some of them still have buds. These pictures were taken, I'm sorry, after I had these plants about 4 days. So they're just sitting out here getting watered by the sprinkler system. Here's a couple that I actually planted up in a project I'm working on. And as you can see, this plant looks perfectly fine. I trimmed off everything that was dead and it's still blooming. It looks beautiful. This one doesn't have any blooms, but as you can see, the foliage is just fine. Perfect plants for 50%, well, more than 50% off, $3 and some cent each. So I went to another Lowe's, picked up a couple of other canna lilies, but look, I found this Aglaonema as well as this Ficus elastica. So this Aglaonema, and so I have been looking at one of these in many of my shopping trips as well. I think this plant had been very much overwatered. It seems to possibly have a bacterial infection because of it. So I have cut off the dead leaves. I got it for 50% off. I cut off the leaves that showed any signs of rot. And I also treated it with a fungicide. And hopefully everything is going to be well with this plant. I don't see any reason why it won't be. This is what it looked like after 2 weeks. There's a couple of leaves that I still see some yellow spots on, but I'm happy with this Aglaonema. I think it was a pretty decent deal, and it's a nice full pot of plants, so I'm happy. Next, I was able to find this Ficus triangularis, and yeah, me and the ficus, we have this love-hate thing going on, but they're behaving for me now. But this one's kind of bare. All it needed was some water and some sunlight. So I put it out on my screen room and it's looking better. It is filling in quickly with leaves. It looks like a totally healthy plant. Look at that. Leaves are just like every day there's more and more leaves on this plant. So it too is doing well without problem. And these were going for, I think, 19 something or 18 something. And I did get it for 50% off, including the ceramic pot. So, and this is from the Costa Farms Trending Tropical collection. Another plant that I got from that collection is from Walmart, and it is this Begonia. I'm not a huge begonia person, but I do think that they look beautiful, so I will buy them mostly on clearance. I decided to go ahead and pick this one up, and again, it comes with the ceramic pot. It was really soggy, so all I had to do was let it dry out, but look at that price. I got this plant for $4.24. I saved $12.72 on the purchase of this plant. So you see what it looked like when I got it. After just a few days of drying out, it started putting out leaves and everything, and it looks like a totally different plant, but it gets even better. See, and I haven't watered it, didn't do anything. This is like a week later, and I'm going to show you now what the plant looks like after 2 weeks. It doesn't even look like the same plant. And again, for $4 and some change, this is what this plant looks like today. So again, a wonderful deal. Clearance price, clearance plants. I love them. They can definitely be a good deal. And don't just think you're going to find the discards that nobody else wants, because as you know, the Costa Farms trending tropical plants right now are kind of a hot commodity that people are looking for. And if you see a store that has an abundance of them, they're probably going to end up with some on clearance. Or if you see a store where there's like a lot of water in the pot and everything, think about going back and checking it the next week, because some of those plants are going to start looking a little rough. This is another clearance begonia that I was able to find that's in excellent shape. It was underwatered, so it had lost most of its leaves. So all I had to do was this one, bring it home, give it some water, and as you can see, after I think this has been about a week and a half, this plant is healthy and happy. It's doing just fine, showing no signs of issues at all. And one of the plants that I'm really excited that I was able to find is this Begonia maculata whitey. You just don't see these a lot anymore. Trending Tropicals put these out a couple of years ago, and now you just really don't see them as much, at least in my area. This one appears to be very much underwatered. The soil is dry, so I'm going to clip off any of the dying leaves, water this plant, and I have no reason to think that it won't bounce back and be just fine. And like the others, I was able to get this plant for 50% off, including the ceramic pot. It's a good deal because you would pay that price for the pot alone. So that's about it for my clearance shopping video. If you're someone who really hasn't thought about looking at that clearance section, you might just be missing out. Go over there, check it out, check frequently, try to figure out what days they're putting the plants out for clearance or doing their markdowns. Once you figure that out, go visit those stores and you will be amazed at some of the deals that you will find. I think it's also a good way to try out some plants that you have heard are more finicky or that you've had issues with. Get them at a clearance price. That way, if things don't go too well, you're not out of a lot of money. And that is why I buy my begonias on clearance, because they can be finicky, but I am learning from rehabbing these plants exactly how to take care of them. So thank you so much for watching. Take care. Hope to see you next time. Stay well. Bye-bye.